Y'all, we're in day 2.
How did we make it this far?
I know, crazy.
I'm super proud of you.
But I just want to forewarn you, today's going to be a little difficult, but the reward is great. In fact, it's probably the most exciting day of the whole week.
Yep.
So we're excited to help you jump in and help you figure out your priorities, create a plan around that, which ultimately leads to profit.
Yeah. So what are we doing today? It's day 2. Welcome. We're super excited. This is where the magic happens. This is where when everyone asks us, how are you guys able to accomplish so much in your business while going on leave, while having a baby, while going on vacation, like whatever it might be, and it's because of this. It's this root of how we tackle the things we want to do in our business. So this is a little bit of a long one today, but we're going to make sure we cover every single step of the process so you feel like rest and assured that you can do this for the things in your own business. So first, what do?
We're going to crunch a few numbers.
So we're doing math today.
We're going to help you create an overall revenue goal so that you can ultimately figure out where you're trying to go with this whole thing. Where are you trying to get with your business?
And then we prioritize those things. So once we know the money goal, then we're able to get a bird's eye view of, okay, if I sell this many things, if I create this many products, if I price my stuff at this, I can reach that goal, right? So I need to be focusing on these specific tasks that are going to help me accomplish those things. So prioritizing the things in our business so we're not just feeling like, are the things that I'm doing even working? Are they even helping me reach my goals? Because that feeling isn't really fun.
Right. And then ultimately we want to help you plan it out so that you can have a roadmap so that you can start reaching and accomplishing those goals along the way.
So buckle up, sisters. I want you to get a calculator, I want you to get a pencil, and I want you to get a piece of paper because we're about to do math, but we make it super pretty and super fun, and we're here to hold your hand the entire way. You can do this. So go gather your things and then come back. Are you guys ready?
Okay.
Do you have your things?
So we're about to plan your profit for the year. And ultimately, I want you to start thinking about, what do you want inside of your business? What do you want your desired take-home income to be? I know for some of you this is like a long shot. Like, I don't know. I would be happy.
$1 million.
I would be happy with anything. But instead of saying, I want an X number of dollars, I really want you to think about the need. What is going on in your life? What is going on in your family? What are your bills like on a day-to-day month? Can you look at a budget? Can you look at your credit card statement? Can you look at your bank statement and really figure out what do you need to survive on a month-to-month basis? And then on top of that, what would be nice? So instead of looking at the pre-tax number, I want you to look at the post-tax number. So what literal dollar bills do you need to come into your home? And then we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 2. And this is going to be your total annual earnings goal, okay? So now that you have your total annual earnings, you're going to take that and you're going to divide it by 12. And what this is going to do is it's going to get you to a monthly revenue goal for your business so that you can create that desired income that we talked about.
And what this might look like right now is I want you to do the math and I want you to crunch it out by 12. But depending on what that total annual earnings needs to be, your monthly revenue might be too unrealistic to reach this month or next month or the next month. So you might have to look at it as a scale up, but I still want you to get the number of, okay, maybe like my goal is $3,000 per month to reach my total annual, but I need to work up to that. So it might be, $1,500 for this month, and then by the end of the year, you're at $6,000 per month, or whatever that looks like. But I want you to break it out month per month right now so you know what that number is, and then we can work around that moving forward.
So now that you have your monthly goal, I want you to divide that by 2 so you can really look at it in a 2-week sprint. And I know for some of you that seems way more doable, like 30 days, you're like, My life could be totally different in 30 days. But generally, you can think about the next 2 weeks of your life pretty realistically. And so this is going to give you a generalized goal of what you're going to try to reach every 2 weeks inside of your business.
Well, I think getting a number like this really helps you focus on like, okay, that's actually totally doable. If I sell this many products, if I land this many clients, I'm going to reach that thing. And it's a mix of looking at the bigger picture, so we're looking at that total annual, but it's also a mix of giving us really small, actionable, doable wins so we can keep trucking along.
So you're going to now have that bi-weekly revenue goal, and it's going to tell you what your reasonable workload is. And you're going to know from your profit, from your actual things that you sell, what is it that you need to do in order to reach that bi-weekly goal? How many of X product do you need to sell? How many clients do you need to be working with? And make that really simple. So one thing I do want to point out really quickly is why we multiplied it by 2 in the very beginning. That's because ultimately you're only going to take home half of every dollar you earn, and the rest is going to be saved for both taxes and marketing and future investments inside of your business.
So now after doing the math, crunching the numbers, and y'all can like save this screen, right? Screenshot that and plug and play your own numbers. If you can print it out, right? I want you to actually crunch the numbers, because then what it's going to do is enable you to ask these questions that are going to help you plan the tasks that you need to be doing in your business to accomplish it. So literally when you have the numbers, how many sales do you need to reach that goal? At the current price that you're offering your stuff right now, how many do you need? Then you can mix around and kind of up those numbers a bit. Up the how many you're going to sell, and up the how much you're going to charge for it. And kind of like do your own little cocktail of, okay, this is realistic and this feels good for my business.
So really think about how you can get there. For some of you, you may need to be upping your prices. For some of you, it may mean that you need to work with less clients, but over like shorter periods of time. How can you ultimately get to that sprint and make that 2-week goal happen every single time? Not just like once a month, but every time.
So it's all about working backwards. It's why we started at the top, to figure out those total annual earnings. I think sometimes we are resistant to give that annual earnings a number because it's scary and it seems unreachable. It seems like we're just kind of picking the number out of the air, even if we're looking at our bills or our plans or whatever. But this really enables you to break it down even further, so you can now look at your bi-weekly, your monthly, right, to get to that. So what are the things that you can do over the next 2 weeks to reach that goal, which is going to help you reach your monthly goal, which is going to help you reach your annual goal, right? So now let's show you how we plan this out, map it out inside Trello, so you can really check in with these goals and these numbers every single day, so you can be tracking your progress and you can be making really smart pivots and tweaks and decisions in your business that you know that are going to help you get there.
So now you're back in big picture strategy. You're like, this looks familiar.
Been here.
Awesome. So by now your boss ideas may be a little busy, which is totally fine. You have a bunch of stuff you've dumped in there. But we're going to spend some time going over the 4 quarters of the year and how to break down tasks so that you can ultimately prioritize and plan.
So no matter where we are throughout the year, I want you to still focus on quarter 4, because I want you right now to have that total annual earnings number, because you've done the math, because you've crunched the numbers. So regardless of where we are, this is where you're going to start. So you're going to open up this card. Typically quarter 4 is that revenue goal, right? No matter what else is going on in your business, you're wanting to do things to help you reach that financial goal. That might be enabling you to quit your 9 to 5. It might enable you to take that vacation to get your business to the next level. It doesn't matter what it is, but that number needs to be here. And then we work backwards.
So you're going to jump into quarter 4, and I want at the very top for you to assign the total revenue goal. So put that dollar bill sign up there and really know, okay, this is what I'm working towards. And then we are going to work backwards to figure out what are your priorities in order to get there.
So remember how I mentioned earlier in this lesson that you might need to be scaling up, right? So how we look at this is asking ourselves, what are the snowball effect tasks that are going to help me reach my goal faster, but also build upon each other, right? So some of you, a lot of you, are probably in that repetitive hustle of, I just need to sell. I just need to create more products, I need to get more clients, and I need to sell more in order to reach that goal. But really, we need to start looking at our business holistically. How many people do you need on your list in order to sell to them, in order to help you reach this goal? What are the things that are going to help you grow your list? How much content do you need to plan so you can start to be more visible? Is that a blog? Is it a podcast? Is it a YouTube channel? What are those different medium sources that are going to get you out there and aware and have people know what you do? Do you need to be networking and mixing and mingling and getting in-person clients and start attending those events so you can get your name known locally? What are those things that are going to start to build upon each other that make that end goal super realistic? What are those that need to be started right now but might not kind of show you the effects of their efforts later on in the year? What are those things that you can get started, like creating an opt-in, right? So you can start growing your email list. Maybe your goal is getting 1,000 people on your email list. Maybe that can't happen over the next 7 days or 30 days. But if you create your opt-in and if you get it set up, it can start to snowball throughout the year. So I want you to start thinking about tasks like that that are going to help you achieve these goals that you can set in place right now, and they will build on each other throughout the year. So no matter what part of the year you're in, I want you to figure out what those tasks are. We like to determine a task per quarter. So this year, right, is getting 50,000. What are the things that are going to help us get there? Right now, I want you to assign every quarter that main kind of theme that you're going to focus on. Because what happens is we get into that nitty-gritty grind of our business and we are just doing the things that are keeping it afloat. And we're not working on the things that are actually going to move it forward. So I want your quarter goals to be kind of the themes that you're going to be focusing on in that quarter to help move your business forward. So let's make up some tasks right now so you can kind of get the feel for how this works. So what do we want to focus on quarter one?
I think usually quarter one is a great idea to really get your content in gear and really start breaking that down more. So maybe you're going to launch a new content channel. So let's say you're going to come out with a YouTube channel that's ultimately going to help you build your list.
So let's put a number to this, and we're going to say grow YouTube channel that doesn't exist right now to 5,000 subscribers. Because that goal is measurable. We can actually know, okay, what are the things that are going to help me get there, and have you achieved it or have you not? It's a really quick, cut and dry answer.
That may be a totally crazy number, by the way. We're just throwing numbers in there for the sake of throwing numbers in there. So then the next quarter, I would really think about focusing on your email list growth. So now you have that YouTube channel. How can you leverage that YouTube channel to grow your email list? Awesome. So you've taken some of those subscribers and converted them into email subscribers.
So now we're going to, I'm trying to phrase the right word here. We're going to find our hierarchy, oh, I spelled that right, of products. So this one is one of those weird, okay, there's not an actual number to it, but once we've started building content, once we've started growing our list and we're making some money selling, right now I really want you to kind of pull out, okay, what is the funnel, right? What is the plan for these people to go through, again, that are going to help me reach that 50K? So now that we have the overarching themes of the quarters, now it's time to go through and do what we call sexy chunks.
Yeah, so you're going to look at the overall goal of grow 5,000 subscribers and figure out what are the things you need to focus on a monthly basis, and then ultimately what are the tasks that you need to do in order to get there.
So we don't even have a YouTube channel, so it's going to be create YouTube channel.
And then it's going to be things like start recording videos.
It's going to be, I say create content plan.
Yeah.
We're going to say design graphics. Create promotion plan. we're going to upgrade camera equipment. And then what's one more? We're going to research. Oops.
YouTube SEO.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going.
So now that you kind of have those, you can say, okay, for this month, these are the things I'm going to focus on in order to help me ultimately grow to that 5,000 subscribers. And it might not be perfect. I think a lot of the things that I've seen people struggle with in the past is they're like, well, January's over and I want to get to my revenue goal, but
I've missed the boat.
I missed the boat. So I'm going to wait till next year.
Nope, don't do that.
It doesn't matter where you are in the year. You can still use these principles to plan out your entire year. You can go backwards and really reflect on the things you've accomplished. And if you didn't get to some of those goals, how can you tackle them differently? Perhaps you were totally outlandish with your numbers. If you're starting from total scratch like YouTube and you've never had a channel before, you don't necessarily know what's realistic yet. You're going to get to the point later in your business where you're going to be able to look at data inside of your business and say, you know, based on past performance, I think I'm going to grow my subscribers by X because I know my typical growth rate. But over 3 months, growing YouTube to 5,000 subscribers may be totally crazy. And that's totally fine. This is about learning and putting it, like, it's still your focus. It's still where you're putting your energy.
So I'm coming up with a couple more tasks here just so you can kind of get an idea of how overall thematically this quarter is geared towards YouTube. But we're already doing a snowball effect, right? We already know that quarter two, at the end of quarter two, we want to grow our email list to 3K. So why not create an opt-in to tell our YouTube subscribers to go sign up for us so we can start having an effect of that in quarter one. It might just be a trickle effect and it might not be our main focus, but we might as well go ahead and make that happen so we can start to work out the kinks, right? So I just want you to imagine right here that we have all of these tasks filled out and we have them all for quarters and everything's good to go. We know exactly what we're doing throughout the year. So say for instance, it's January and we're just hanging out and we're like, okay, this is my goal for Q1. How do I actually break this down to make sure it's gonna happen?
So we want you to convert these things to cards, and or you can actually duplicate them and make new cards if you want to keep a running list inside of Trello.
That's up to you.
Totally fine either way. But you'll notice that now they're on the yearly breakdown, and she's going to focus on, okay, we're going to grow our YouTube channel. So that's going to be a new list.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
So now that we have the Grow YouTube channel list, we're going to take all the tasks associated with Grow YouTube channel and we are going to assign dates to those tasks.
So we're going to drag them over so we know that this is a quote launch. This is a strategy. This is a task that we're going to be working on over Q1 for our business, right? We can copy like literally all of these over if we wanted to because that's all going to help us grow this thing to 5K. But the one thing that you absolutely have to do for these to actually happen, do you know what it is?
Assign dates.
Assign dates. So
crazy.
This is how you do that. This is why we told you to enable calendar for big picture strategy because it's super crucial. So you click on the thing and you say, okay, realistically, let's just bump ahead to January. Well, I need to actually create it. I think I can do that. Let me come back to work after the holiday. I'm gonna do it on this day.
So on Monday the 8th, I'm gonna create my YouTube channel. And on the 9th, I'm gonna create my content plan. I'm gonna design graphics, later that week. Create my promotion plan the next week. And make sure I get that camera equipment in right away so I can get started and start doing some research. So I've already put some cushion in here. We're tackling pretty much everything we want to accomplish in January in the first 2.5 weeks.
Because we know you have other stuff going on in your business,
Yes,
like
these aren't the
mailing
only-
products, taking new pictures, dealing with clients, managing your current channels, right? But if we ignore leaving room for things that are going to grow our business, that's when we keep feeling like we're just spinning our wheels. So you have to build these things in. Whether it takes just a couple of days out of your month, you've got the space, you just have to create it.
So now that it's on the calendar, we can scroll down to January and quickly see that we have all of our things assigned and I can see them specifically on the calendar. And I can always move them around. If something, I'm like, I planned a crazy thing and that didn't work for me, I can drag and drop them directly on the calendar.
Yep. So I think this is the piece, because you're assigning dates, that's when you're going to be able to see it on the calendar. If you do not assign the dates, when you click to the calendar, you're not going to see your items. So this is the piece that I really think lets our brains work really well. We're able to brain dump in list format, which is super helpful for us to kind of just like spew out all of our ideas, right? And then we're able, once we assign the dates, to see them, okay, based on everything else I have going on in my life, based on holidays, based on my current workload, is this realistic? Because really, there should be other things on here that you already have to do in your business. This is just for this one specific strategy. So you might see, and we'll go over this later on through this challenge, you might see, you know, giving a client a proof on this day, writing a blog post, having a meeting with a client this day. So there might be other things that are already happening on your calendar. So you'll be able to drag and drop and see, realistically, with everything else that I have going on, can I do this on this day? And if you can't, just drag it. All right?
So now that you have that planned out, let's go over your homework.
Ooh, homework time, kids. Hey, it's us again.
We're back!
We missed you.
Oh.
So we're giving you your homework. I hope that you were able to copy over your big picture from yesterday. You're able to really brain dump those ideas. And I know today was a lot of information, so just take it step by step, okay? The first thing you need to do
is identify those quarter goals. So we're just talking about 4 ultimate goals. What are the 4 things we're striving for this year so that we can work towards our overall revenue goal? Because ultimately, at least for now, maybe when you're later on in business, it won't be your focus necessarily, but especially when you're getting started, putting your revenue as like your number one focus at the end of the year is where your head needs to be at, because you got to feed your family, right?
Yep.
So let's figure out what are the priorities we need to set inside of our own business to help us reach that goal.
So once we identify what those quarterly goals are, we need to break them into mini tasks and add them to Trello. So I know so often we have the lofty ideas of grow a YouTube channel, grow my Pinterest following, start a blog, start a coffee mug lineup, right? We have these big lofty things, but if we're not breaking them out and adding them to our project management system, they're just going to constantly live in our head and they're not actually ever going to get done. And we want you to get some stuff done, because that's when you feel like a total amazing boss.
You're going to want to pull out all of your priorities as lists. So everything you have set as a quarter goal, perhaps every quarter has its own list. If you have products, those can also be lists. If you have specific launches going on, those can be lists. You can overall create a plan inside of your business, and it's not going to be perfect on day one. This is about getting a general consensus of where your business is going and where you're headed with things.
So then remember, the most crucial part of all of this, slap some dates on those babies so you can not only see them in the calendar view, but you can be held accountable with yourself. And if you have another team member on that board, they can kind of check in with you too about, hey, I've seen you've been dragging this item across this calendar all month. What's the deal with that? And you can actually get it done.
I know, crazy. So now that you've got big picture strategy created and you have your quarter goals set, I want you to pop into the group and talk about it. What are the things you're striving to accomplish this year? And if you're like uncomfortable sharing your financial goal, totally cool.
Fine.
But let's figure out like what are some strategies. If you're struggling with how to figure out what your quarter focuses should be, we can help you brainstorm with that.
Remember, this was the hardest part. Today is going to take you the longest, and it's going to be taxing on you mentally. But we're super excited about moving forward because tomorrow we are getting started with tackling your week, and we cannot wait to have you join us. We will see you then.